I have a lot of people that um, will, if like they'll try something and they're like, it brought them back to like a time, like they remember like a certain moment or something like that. And a lot of times people will email me and they're like, yeah, I don't usually do this kind of stuff, but I have to tell you, like, I tried your, whatever bastard, and it reminded me of like this certain time, and brought me back. And I'm like, that's exactly why I create all these crazy customs, because if that hits somebody in the feels like that, like that's some pretty cool shit. Yeah. I know when I do my YouTube, Friday Night Lives or giveaways or whatever, trying to keep up with the chat, it's like, wait, what I miss?
Yeah, and it's not that I don't want that. Like if I ever got to where I could live stream, like I would be fine with it. But I think that like to get to know people, I think you just need to be clicked out of the outside world a little bit. That way you can kind of sit down and talk to people.
Yeah.
But no, like that's the main reason why I do that. But normally when I do this, I don't even introduce the person, just because usually the people that I'm trying to really attract to kind of watch or want to watch the stuff is people that probably know who you are. But like
Mm.
I usually start it off with a story, but I think that like this one, I think I can actually start this one off with a statement and then kind of go from there. But like I think that you and your product, like I think out of all the owners in the beard world, if you want to call it that, your product by itself, I think, represents who you are out of all the other owners in the beard game. Like when I see a bottle of luxurious bastard oil or a can of butter, I think of you and what you're about and like your hobbies. Like I think that
Mm.
that's pretty rare.
Yeah, I've been told that I have a certain like vibe or style, which I'm like, okay, I'll take it. I mean, it is who I am. I've always been just true to myself and never really changed like my style or what I liked over the years, even though, people are like, oh, you should do that. You should do this. You should do that. I'm like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's always been my attitude. So it
Oh,
always
I,
surprises
I
me when
agree.
people are like, man, I love you know, your your brand, or like the way you represent it. I'm like, cool, because it's just me. I mean, I know there's a lot of companies out there that are just, um, they want to be how everybody wants them to be. I guess if that's the
Right.
terminology. I'm
Well, it's
just,
almost like they're being told what to do with with their company that they started. And it's not
yeah.
that they all do that. I'm sure that there are people that do that, but
Hmm.
I just think when I see a bottle of whatever you've came out with, it represents 100% who you are. So
Hmm.
I give you props for that. Like you've never gone outside of your comfort zone, at least from what I gather.
Yeah.
Like with like you want to do what you want to do.
Yep.
I would say you
And
and Pedro are pretty far up there with like what they want to do. You and Pedro Navarro.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He
And
has you know, my attitude is, it is what it is.
it's my company, my rules. I mean, and if you don't
Exactly.
like it, then you don't have to buy it, and they're fine. And you
Yeah.
guys are fine with that. But like Pedro goes a little bit more above and says, "Hey, well, if you don't want it, then don't buy it. Screw yourself."
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I'm not saying companies should be like that, but I think that that sets you apart from almost every other company out there.
Hmm. Yeah. When
So I got to give you props for that.
people come across with stuff like that, and my response, instead of being like on the attack, I'm like, well, that's unfortunate that you feel that way. And then usually, I mean, like, I don't really even have a lot of people that complain. If they are, it's for like dumb stuff, and 99% of the time they end up coming back and they're like, oh man, I'm sorry, I tried this other company, and man, your stuff is way better, and XYZ. And I'm like, all right, no problem.
Well, I haven't been in one of your luxurious lounges in a long time, just because I've been doing this, and then I just started another podcast with One of my good friends, he owns a wrestling federation here in town or local, and
Hmm.
we just started a podcast with that, and I've been producing it for him. So that just adds to one more thing that I can't really enjoy, but I still enjoy doing the whole podcast thing. So
That's dope. I'm actually thinking about starting another YouTube channel called Beards and Biceps, and sponsored by Luxurious Bastard. And because I'm really big into fitness, so I'm like, it would be cool to be able to interview some like fitness people, like Instagrammers, whatever, because they love to talk and they love to talk about themselves and like how they train. And then it would just go hand in hand. Like they don't necessarily have to have a beard. I'd be the beard, they'd be the biceps,
right.
and sponsored by Luxurious Bastards. So it's kind of like another outlet to use their social media and their followers, because obviously they're going to post a video like, check out this podcast. So it's kind of like a sneaky way to like do some organic advertising.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's a lot of like podcasts out there that do that. Like they sponsor their own brand that way.
Hmm.
I mean, without actually like pushing it.
Yep.
But no, like I haven't I actually haven't bought a product from you for, I don't know, it hasn't been, might be right at maybe a year, but I've got 31 bottles right now. I just counted just to give you a number, but like, and it's just that I've been appreciating the oils that I have just before they go bad. And I think that that was my mistake, is that I bought too many things at once, and like it was that
Yeah.
FOMO. But
Yep.
I still have, like, I think I've bought more of the same product from your company than all the other products. So I think I've bought a total of 6 bottles of Red Bastard in the time that
Nice.
you've had it out.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, that goes to say that like your product has always been one that's always just felt good in my beard, and I usually use it like when I'm going to trim or if I'm going out on like a date night. Like the Red Bastard, my wife really likes. So that and the
That's cool.
soothing.
That was my kind of a loose version of the polo red, and I think everybody liked that.
Oh
Some
yeah.
which was kind of cool because there's some customers that had ordered it that actually have the cologne, and they're like, man, I don't know how you do it because it's pretty damn close. I'm like, cool.
I've never had Polo Red, but that, I
Yeah.
mean, I've only been complimented on 2 beard like oils that's been in my beard, and one of them was from your company, and that was with Red Bastard. And there's something about it when it gets wet, like after it's rained or something, and
Uh-huh.
that the smell just like radiates off your beard. And Red
Comes
Bastard's
back.
one of those. So, but Soothing
Yeah.
Bastard's another one of my wife's favorites. Like I've caught her using my butter a couple times.
That's cool.
Like that Soothing Bastard is underrated. I don't care
Yeah.
what anybody says.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. And that
clean.
one is doesn't really get talked about too much. I think the problem is I create too many um like limited batch runs, and everybody's like, oh my god, this one, oh my gosh, this. I mean, I literally have, because of my customs, I could probably produce a new profile, probably two a month for like 3 years in a row.
Oh man.
Yeah, I
Well, I
got.
know they used to have that like really thick book of like
Mm,
customs, and then you'd
yeah,
have your own
I have
ideas in
two.
it.
Hmm.
Oh my lord.
And then I started transferring it all over to to digital, so that way I can easily search the name, because now I'm getting customers that are reordering other people's customs. So I need to be able to
Mm.
go back and oh, what was the black cat, and like looking, I'm like, okay, here it is. So I have like the list is massive now. It's
Well,
crazy.
I can only say that I bought one product personally that I didn't enjoy from you, but my wife didn't enjoy that first butter you came out with. That's the only thing that she's never not enjoyed from you. That one that used to send, like, it looked like a ding dong in the foil.
Oh yeah.
The very very first one, like you wrapped it up in foil, you sent it out. Like the
Yeah.
smell of it just stayed on my pillow for like 2 years. It seemed like
That was probably the original. I think I just called that one the
the luxurious bastard butter is what you called it, I
yeah, the
think.
luxurious bastard butter, and that was my first butter in that profile. I hadn't done any other
Yeah,
butters and any other profiles. Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was like very heavy, like vanilla, like maple syrup is what
yeah,
everybody said. It was like
yeah. It made my
pancakes.
wood comb that I bought from you smell like that thing for like a year.
Yeah,
But that's the only
Yep.
one she didn't like. But the only one I didn't like was the TCVC, just because I'm not a big fan of coffee. But I did
Mm-hmm.
try it, and then I gave it away as a gift or something, and they enjoyed it. So,
Yeah, everybody freaking loves that profile. Yeah.
but some people, I mean, not everything is everybody's jam, and that's what's cool about
Yeah.
the beard company. And with you, you've created probably everything on a train, man. So you've probably had every scent profile under the moon. Like you've had tonka
Yep.
bean, you've had smoke, you've had leather, you've had oud. I mean,
Yeah.
you name it, you've had it.
I even try to, I mean, I'm constantly trying out new essentials and fragrances from all over UK, like India. Like, I'm always ordering little samples of things just because you got to, like everybody gets tired of pine and cedar. It's
Right.
like you got to come up with these crazy exotic
Well, and it's kind of hard for
profiles.
you though. You set the bar for 1912. I mean, it's kind of like
Yeah.
hard to do better than what like the best you've done. Like it's hard to make things even better when you've already created one that everybody calls the goat for that type of profile.
You got to try alluring. Luring is
Yeah.
probably my most favorite creation that I've come up with so far.
Well, I mean, I would say that like you have other stuff other than beard products. I mean, I've
Hmm.
bought several things. Like I've got a shirt, I've got a hat somewhere. I don't know.
Yep.
It's hanging up. Actually, up. It's actually on. So my bad.
Got it somewhere.
Yeah, it's actually pretty old. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that's the
seen better
first
days.
generation.
Yeah, I've had this
Yeah.
thing. I've had this shirt even. Like this shirt, I think is first gen, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So I
Yep.
mean, but I've got several things. I actually keep a couple things. Like I've got a couple rings from you. I mean, you've got more than just stuff for beards. I mean, that's just what you are. You're a jack of all trades. You're, from what I gather, like one thing that actually I got into later down the road. I've always been into pipes and tobacco,
Hmm.
and I think I sent you a gift box. Probably this has been before COVID, like 2018. Do you remember that? It
Man,
was a
I've
gift
gotten.
box with a crap ton of beer. I sent you a bag of pipe tobacco, and it was I had it in a humidor for like 3 years.
Hmm. I probably made a video on it then
Yeah,
for
well,
sure.
you went live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
went live with it, and you tried some of the beer. Like you didn't try the beers there because they were hot, obviously, but you had I gave you a couple hats that I had won, like ones that I wouldn't wear. They were like those oh the newsboy hats. They were kind of mesh.
Oh, okay.
And I used that to wrap the beer in because I wasn't going to waste the money on the bubble wrap.
Classic.
It worked. Nothing blew
Yeah.
up. And then I threw in some hot tamales.
Oh, yeah.
But
My favorite candy.
yeah. But no, I've got several. Actually, I don't even know if. Did you sell these? Was that yours?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I mean,
Yep.
I've got several things. And some of that stuff I don't want to buy. And then you almost got me on this one, though. Like, I opened this sucker up and I was like, oh, this dude gave you
Yes.
$100. I was like, damn. In
Dude,
props we trust. Get out of here.
I had
But I
a
kept it.
customer reach out to me mad because he got one of those and he's like, yeah, you shouldn't do that and whatever. I guess apparently he went somewhere, I don't know, Target or Walmart, and he
Oh,
tried to
man.
use that $100 bill. I'm like, dude,
Why didn't
literally
you
if you
put the
look
props
at
on
it.
there? But you got me, though. I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't go try to buy it. I read the dollar. I read the paper. I mean,
Yeah.
all you got to do is read. It doesn't
Yep.
even look, when you hold it, it doesn't feel real.
Yeah. So
So
I'm like,
that's
wow.
on him.
I didn't think I had to put a disclaimer on it, so I thought that was hilarious. So I stopped doing that with, well, that was, again, that's like my first generation wallet. So I have like other um leather wallets too, but I don't put the $100 in there anymore.
No, I mean, when I first got that was, shoot, that might have even been 2019 ish, somewhere around
Yeah.
there.
2019, 2020. Yeah.
And that's really what this is about. Like, I just want to show appreciation to the people that I find to be interesting. Like, you are interesting, but like a lot of me kind of reflects like stuff that you like, and you live all the way in California.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, no matter where you live, you're going to find somebody that has something like in common with you. So, like, one of the biggest things that I think that I kind of uh, feel like I wish that I had was your lounge. Like, I would love to have that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was a nice little setup that's in my shop. I actually built a second floor where I have everything set up and like it's all live because I have people that message me and they're like, "What green screen are you using?" I'm like,
Oh,
that's an actual back like everything that you see in the background that's like real stuff." And they're like, "Oh damn,
at
I
first I
used to
thought you
use
ran
a
like an antique shop.
yeah yeah I used to back in the day I used to use actual like pull down backdrops,
Oh yeah.
but once it just got to be a little bit like the YouTube stuff was starting to really take off. So having to set things up and take them down. So like now I have like dedicated, multi lights and a camera and a monitor and, you know,
I know
an
that you used
actual
to try to read
backdrop.
your comments from the phone from afar. You were like, "What does that
Yes.
say?"
Yeah. And I'm
Yeah,
like, what is this? Yeah. So now I have like a big
yeah,
screen. So it's pretty easy to,
yeah. I mean,
to tap
I
in on
remember
that.
OG Lux for sure. Like you used to. Actually, this is before you even built the second story. You used to do your lives like with that unboxing, and you would
Mm-hmm.
have like you would always break out either a new pipe or you would have like something brought in from like maraschino pipes that you just ordered or
Yeah.
whatever, and
Yep.
you would light up you would just have like a 2 hour little live stream. That was
Yep.
always fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
now
wish
I'm
I could
all.
smoke
I
in
mean,
here.
I still have tons of cigars. I mean, pipes, but now I'm just because it's easy to light up a cigar. I have like three different humidors and stuff, but I still have brand new pipes in the boxes that I haven't even opened up yet.
Pipes are like there is something from a pipe that I do enjoy, like just the like you get a total different flavor and blend with the
Mm.
tobacco and stuff like that, especially if you're drinking a beer or whiskey. But
Yep.
a cigar is unbeatable. Like you don't have to clean anything or replace tips or any of
Yeah.
that jazz. Like the pipes are cool. Like I bought a stand at like a flea market. It was a glass bowl that holds the whatever tobacco blend you want inside of it, and then it holds
Hmm.
5 pipes around it. So like you can
Yeah.
smoke on that one tobacco for however long. But I
Yeah.
mean,
I got a couple of
yeah.
those. Hmm.
But you turned me on to Sutliff's. Which one was that?
Molto Dolce.
Multi Dolce. Yeah, that was my
Yeah,
favorite tobacco and I'd
such a
never
good
tried it
one.
until then. But before that, the only one I ever actually had from Sutliff was the Plantation. Like that one was my favorite from them.
Yeah, Plantation is really good.
Yeah.
Get a lot of I because I used to go to like breweries and I'd bring a pipe, bring some tobacco, and so many compliment. Like I'd see people looking at me from a distance. They're like,
Yep.
they've never seen a guy with a pipe, with a beard, and like I'll see him looking, I'm looking, and I'm like, I already know they want to ask me questions, and then finally like they'll come over and they'll be like, "Can I just sit over here?" Like I
Just to
love the
smell
way
it.
that the pipes, like the
Yeah.
tobacco smells, and they'd always tell me stuff like, "Oh, it reminds them of like their
Grandpa.
grandfather or their dad, and used to sit on the porch and like the smell." And I'm like, it was like a easy
Conversation starter.
icebreaker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I got that look just from all my friends, just because I've always been like I guess, old soul, if you will. Like I've always been intrigued by the pipes, and we'd be
Definitely.
out golfing, like, and I'm probably at least 10 years younger than you, and I would be out golfing, and I would just light up like a wood pipe, and they'd be like, "What
Hmm.
are you doing?"
Yeah.
It's like,
It's a
hey,
lost
it's
tradition.
well
Yeah.
that, and it's like a cigar is. I feel like it's a reason to sit down and talk to somebody, or to sit down and enjoy like peace and quiet, not looking at your phone or anything like
Yep.
that.
Yep. Because you can't just hurry up and
Yeah,
like have a pipe. Like you got to choose the pipe, you got to choose the tobacco. Then you either are
you got to
getting your
tamp it.
like cedar wood spills. Yeah, you got to choose your tamper. You load it. Actually, I have a couple of these, but my mouse pad is actually a leather mat that I use for um, putting tobacco. So then when you're done, you can actually take the leather, and
Yep.
put your remnants back into the can. But it's just a relaxing. Some of the best chill sessions I've had was just me and another, dude friend of mine smoking a pipe. Very little words. The pipe itself has textures on it, and it gets warm, and it's almost like helps you think. If that makes
Yeah, well,
sense.
it takes you like kind of like what I wanted with this. It takes the outside world, that busyness, takes it out of there, and like you've got to sit there and be patient, because if you rush a cigar or a pipe, you burn that tobacco and it tastes like crap.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Or
I
you end
mean,
up with a massive head spin.
Oh yeah, especially with a
Yeah.
cigar. Cigar will
Yeah.
mess you up, especially if
Oh
you're
yeah.
inhaling that sucker.
It'll turn you green.
Yeah,
Yep.
but there are cigars out there that won't do that. But like that's why I like the like a good sized gauge of a cigar that I have to sit down and appreciate it, because if you don't ever want to relight a cigar after a day, because then it's not as good.
Yeah.
It just takes
Yep.
away from that one good thing that like. And I've got several cigars, nothing like you, but like I've always bought cigars. But I've got two Cubans that I bought when I got married in Jamaica, and I've
Hmm.
saved those, and I'm waiting for my 10 year to enjoy one of those. So
Nice. Yeah, I got a couple of two different humidors here in my home office. I got one, two, like three more at work. Actually, one downstairs too. So it's pretty. It becomes a sweet addiction.
if
Just
I could have if I could have a humidor, I feel like I would have to smoke at my house, but like I would have to have a good filtration system to like my wife would
yeah,
kill me.
yeah. Like in my home office, I've got two, filtration units, but I've tried to smoke a cigar in here, and it ends up lingering too long, just because like I have carpet on the floor. I would need tile or wood, and then instead of curtains, I would need shades. To so that it won't stick. But
That's why I'm jealous of
traditionally,
who's that guy that's on YouTube that he does like the man cards, Jeremy
oh,
Sears.
Jeremy,
Oh,
yeah,
I would so
hmm,
love to have that room that he has.
yeah,
And
yeah,
like he sort of did what you did behind you with his guns and stuff.
hmm, yep. I'm gonna definitely, once I move to Texas, that's gonna be in my
You're moving to
books.
Texas, huh?
Oh yeah, yep. I'm gonna buy 30, 40 acres out there, build a house, build a shop, like a barndominium. That way I can run the business, well, at least run the manufacturing portion of it from my land. And then I'll probably end up, getting like a retail location, a storefront somewhere in town. That way I can, make everything there, take it there, have it all shipped and labeled and, all that stuff. But that's my end goal, hopefully.
Like what part of Texas are you planning on moving to, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm thinking like northern, like Jackson, like because I want trees, I want green grass, rolling hills. You know, I want that type of vibe. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I used to live in the panhandle of Oklahoma and no trees out there. So stay
yeah,
away from the panhandle of Texas too.
yeah, yeah. A lot of the places I've been looking at have, it seems like the more north you go, the more heavily wooded it is. A lot
Yeah,
of
the more
pines and
northeast of
stuff.
Texas, probably.
Hmm. Yeah,
Like probably right across the border after Tulsa, Oklahoma, or something like that. Right over, what is that area? Is that not El Paso? Oh, what part of Texas is that? Is that Austin area? Like in that horn of Texas that they have right there?
yeah, like above it. Hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
I've always liked Texas. I mean, they just bring a different vibe when you're there. You know where you're at. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It's almost like probably California. I've never been to California, but I could probably assume pretty well that it's a total different like type of vibe.
Oh, it's terrible, especially for
Mm.
small business owners.
Oh yeah,
You make $100 and somehow they tax you and they want to take 110 of it. It's crazy.
is that all of California, or is that just
Oh
like
yeah,
so?
California is the worst.
It's not like a hoax or whatever like the people say. It's
Nope,
legit.
nope. It's legit. I mean, everything like gas, electricity, water, food. I was in Wyoming. I go to Wyoming every year for Fourth of July,
That's where my family's from.
and just simple things like going to like Walmart and getting like a cart full of stuff. Out here it'll be like $250. Get the same stuff in Wyoming and it's like $80. Like took out my boys and we ate at one of the days in Wyoming we ate at Chili's. When we got three meals with drinks and all that stuff, and it was like less than $40. I had to look at the receipt. Like, is this right? Like, there's got to be. You must have missed something, but no, it's the price. Everything's crazy.
And is
Gas two
Wyoming
ninety
tax
nine a
free?
gallon. Out here, it's like almost $6 a gallon. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
2.99 here in Kansas also.
Yeah, cost of
But
living. I was looking at like, for example, like Jackson, Texas, and I was looking at all the details, and it said that in order to live comfortably, you'd have to make like 29,000. No, was it 29,000 or 30? I think it was like No, I think it was. It was like close to 30,000 a year to live comfortably. I'm like 30,000 in Texas or in California, you're living on the streets.
It's like state taxes. I mean that Texas,
Yeah.
Florida, I think Wyoming might be on there too. Like my dad's side of the family is actually from Wyoming, so I've never been there, but everybody talks about how great it is. My
Yeah.
uncle won the lottery there, or won at like the casino or something, and bought a whole bunch of land there, and he ain't moving. Like he's like that hardcore. Like I'm
Yeah.
not voting ever left ever again.
Yeah, Texas is great for small businesses. There's no um I think there's no state income tax, there's no like personal tax, and
Property
then
tax
I've
probably.
heard yeah, and then I've heard that if you have a small business, like a legitimate one with like, you know, LLC and all that stuff, Texas will help you like relocate. They'll actually pay for like moving stuff because they want the economy. They want the business.
Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah.
Tesla moved there for a reason.
Yeah. And Elon Musk did his research. So if he
Oh
picked
yeah.
Texas, there's a reason why.
And I think a lot of that has to. I mean, I don't want to give all the credit to Joe Rogan, but I'm sure that he had a lot to do with that. But like Elon Musk is no slouch. Like that dude did his
Hmm.
research well before he moved.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And now I don't know if you've seen that Chevron is moving to Texas.
Yep.
They're pulling roots from California. That's going to hurt. I'm telling you, like,
California's
California
going
is
to be
just going to
gone.
turn into a like Sodom and Gomorrah. Just like anything goes. You can marry a freaking unicorn if you want, and just it's just try it's turning into
Oh,
craziness. And then like all the gun laws and like ammo, like I want to be able to wake up in the morning, brew a cup of coffee, stand on my patio, grab my AR-15, blank, shoot a couple of rounds without having like the cops or anything show up. Like, can't do that in California. You walk
yeah.
outside with a gun and all the Karens in the neighborhood are calling the police on you.
Probably with knives too in California too.
Yeah.
It is wild. Like, cause like I feel me living in Kansas, I've always felt like I hear about California and the stuff that's going on there, but like I don't think that you can really grasp what's going on unless you live there.
Nah. Yeah, it's just getting
What
worse.
made you stay there for so long? And just family, or
Yeah, family, kids, and all that. Yeah, I
and
have
now
to
it's
wait
just
until
time?
my youngest turns 18 before I can actually move out. So my
Oh, and that's your
goal is
daughter. I saw a post that you made on, was it Instagram? Maybe we're friends on Facebook. Like your kid's about ready to turn 18, right?
youngest one is 14. So
Oh,
I
14.
have like
Okay.
3.5 years, yeah. But my goal is to get some land probably in the next like 12 months or so and start the building process. That way I can use it as like a vacation home or something like that. That way, by the time like 3 or 4 years, comes up, I can just boop move rather than trying to do all that in the midst of like moving the company.
Oh yeah. Do it little by little. That way everything's there at once.
Exactly.
So I guess like, I mean, I didn't really take the time to let you kind of introduce like who you want people to know who you are. Like I know you as David Lux. I just call you Lux. And I
Yeah.
know your last name is like, is it Giroux? Is that how you
Goudreau.
pronounce Giroux?
Yeah.
Okay, so I wasn't
Goudreau.
far off.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's French.
Yep.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, French Irish mix.
Wow, you got to
Yeah.
have some Irish in you. Come on.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's why the Shamrock.
Oh yeah, I'm a got a fighting Irish.
Nice. Yep.
So, but no, like, what would you say, like, other than like what people know you for with the beard game, the morning coffee routine of trying to make it into that Keurig, or even smoking a cigar or whatever? Like, who would you like? What do people not know about you that like you think that like I kind of want to know like what haven't you talked about? Like I don't want to ask those same questions like, hey, how'd you come up with 1912? That gets boring to most people. It's like, come on, you've said that 300 times. If I don't know by now and I'm a fan of you, then I'm not listening.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm I'm always pretty transparent. I mean, used to work for the DoD for 12 years, prior to Lux. So I got to see a lot of cool shit. I'm a car guy, jack of all trades. You know, love building shit, working on cars, classic cars and stuff, shooting guns.
I could see you showing
Yeah.
up to work one day in a steam engine.
Yeah. That would be different. Yeah. With a turbocharger on it.
Oh yeah, like you're gonna go
Yeah.
like it's a turbocharger or a Tor like a Tesla version of a steam engine. That'd be
Hmm.
dope.
Yeah.
But no, like I just think that like people don't like. I mean, I don't know how many live streams you've ever just sat there and watched, but it's like, hey, what's your favorite? Like, does pineapple belong on pizza? It's like, at some point that question gets like it's a little like out questioned, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But like
By the way,
what
pineapple doesn't belong on pizza.
Okay, and now
That's
so
my.
I'm glad we said this. Like I would 100% agree with you until I had a pizza one time, just one,
Mhm.
only one. It was in not Springfield. What is that? J- what's that place in Missouri that everybody Branson. Down in Branson on the lake. It's Table Rock Lake. There's a pizza place that makes this jerk chicken pizza and they smoke their pineapple in a jerk sauce and it is the best pizza I've ever had in my entire life. I was
Really?
like, I thought I was anti pineapple on pizza for the rest of my life, and I was wrong.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
I've had pineapple pizza at a few different places. I'm like, I don't know.
I
Doesn't work
agree,
for me.
and that's what I've always said. And it's like I tried it that one time, and I was like, oh no, I was like, I'm a hypocrite.
Everybody has their flavor, I guess. Like I've had barbecue sauce on pizza that was damn good.
Yeah, it's like a jerk barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah, it
this
was
was,
like,
but it was smoked pineapple. Like they put it on their web
hmm,
or whatever for like 2 days.
wow.
I was like, oh no.
Hmm.
It's like now I'm a liar. But no, like those little questions, like it's not that they annoy me. It's just like you shouldn't ask everybody that. Not everybody wants. Nobody really cares about pineapple on pizza or anything like that. But I know that you, out of all people, like you've always been pretty open about. Oh, I love guns, or I love my Second Amendment. I love these rights and those rights. But like, what is it
Hmm.
that California? Like you said that you stayed in California for family, but what's the biggest reason of like what did you love about California?
Probably the only thing is you got a little bit of everything really close together. Like I can go to the mountains in like 30 minutes. I can go to the beach in like an hour. You know, I'm in the high desert, and you got everything here, Disneyland, you got gambling like only like 2.5 hours away. So probably that, that's really honestly at this point, that's the only like positive things I can, think of. Other than that, maybe, prior to owning a business, it probably would be better because it's like, oh wow, you can make so much more money here in California, but it really is, the cost of living doesn't really make sense anymore. Now I think the minimum wage is like $23 an hour or $24 an hour,
In
which is,
California?
yeah, which is crazy. Like you can go work at like Del Taco making that much money. But now when you go and the other day, meaning like 2 months ago, went through the drive through, like me and my two boys, and we ordered, I forget what it was. I think Popeyes or something, just like basic stuff. And it was like $89. I'm like, what? Like it's because of the minimum wage and stuff. They have to charge that much. And now, I think it
There's
was
no
like a
fast
week.
food restaurant that should make that much money.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it's fast food for a reason. Yeah.
Not fast at all. They took the word fast and just ran with it. They were like, hey, we're going to get your food whenever we want,
Yep. And then they're going to give you whatever they feel like giving you.
whether it be fresh or not. Now, I will say
Yep.
Popeyes is pretty good for chicken, but
Yeah.
that's about it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing they're winning on.
Nobody's talked about it yet, but one of the biggest companies out there that is having some of the biggest losses ever, freaking McDonald's,
Oh,
believe it or
yeah.
not. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
you could
wild.
tell if you go to order something there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember as a kid, like, getting a breakfast burrito there, that one burrito from there would, like, fill you up. And now
Yeah.
you got to get, like, 8 of those to even get, like, the serving size of that one burrito.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
And like the ordering at McDonald's, like you don't get it at the window. They can you please pull forward and go wait in
Yeah.
the? It's like,
Yeah. When
sure.
did that start happening? It's like,
It's like
And I,
convenience has gone out the window, and
and
I'm
then I
not
don't.
gonna complain.
Something else I started noticing out here in California. I don't know if they're doing it out there, but you pay for something now, and they're like, "Oh, do you want to round it up?" I'm like, "No. Why would I want to round up my bill just so you can get extra money?"
The only time they've ever done that is if they're doing like a charity, like for like McDonald's is known for like their the Ronald McDonald's House, like every once in a while, like during
Mm.
like certain months, then they'll do that. But other than that, no, I won't tip
No,
fast food ever.
I was at Walmart out here and paying for something, and I even did the self checkout, and it's like, "Oh, do you want to round your thing up?" And I was like, it would have been like over $5. I'm like, hell no. Why would I? You're already gouging me. Why would I want to give you guys an extra $5?
Oh man.
Crazy.
Now I will say there's one place in California that I've wanted to go, and that's that brewery that's down south, something River. Um, they make the whistle something pig beer.
Oh,
It's
uh,
actually I think I have a bottle somewhere in
Blue
here.
River or
River wine.
yeah, I think I've been there. They're up like Northern California. I think Blind
Pliny
Pig,
the Elder.
Pliny. Yes, I've been there.
It's a
Yeah,
Russian River.
Russian River. Yep.
Yeah.
And a lot of their stuff when they release it, it's like mine. It's limited edition. It sells out like super fast. Yeah, I had to wait in line to get some of that Pliny.
Yeah, my neighbor actually was visiting his brother down there, and he grabbed me two bottles. He grabbed me the Pliny, and then he grabbed me the Whistle Pig or something like that.
Hmm. Yeah, that's in Eureka, California, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't
Up
know
north.
where it's at. I think they have
Yeah,
a couple breweries, but like their main one, you can bring like growlers and stuff like that and fill them up.
and they'll limit you too. You can only have
Yeah,
a certain amount.
it's like a growler a day. It doesn't say on the bottom. I'm sure it does, probably in the fine print, but I ain't got time to look for that. But
Yeah.
but no, that's the one place that I would want to go just to experience like what they've brought. Like they've changed like a lot of the beard game down a beer game, not beard game,
Hmm.
but like I appreciate a good like brewery. Like that's I
Yeah.
mean Kansas doesn't have any of that type of stuff. I mean we have our small ones, and I think I sent you one from it's called uh not Salt City Brewing Company. It was has a little bird on it, and it was a sour beer that I sent you of white cans in
Oh
that box.
yeah, that was a good one. I remember.
Sandhills Brewing Company.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do like those. I like a good sour beer for the summertime. But what were you sipping on?
That was a salty dog,
A salty dog.
Blondale.
I got
Yeah.
the Porch Rocker. That's probably my favorite Samuel Adams that they got. That and
Nice. It,
the winter snap or cold snap that they make.
I just saw them release their Oktoberfest already.
Yeah, they've been doing that
Yeah.
like 2 months extra every single year. It's
I
like,
know.
man,
That's
just
crazy.
sell it year round now.
Gonna be celebrating Christmas in July soon with the way they're trying to hurry everything up.
Well, shoot, they've already got pumpkin spice cereal out or some crap.
Yeah. Wild.
That gets old. The pumpkin spice everything could be like that could be one thing that I could wish away to where I don't have to see it again. Pumpkin spice cereal, pumpkin pot, like pumpkin spice wine. Get out of here.
Yeah.
And I don't like
I
wine, but everybody wants to try something that says pumpkin spice on it.
I did the October bastard was a like a pumpkin oud. I don't know if you ever got a chance to try that one out. That actually turned out pretty good, I have to say.
I don't think I had that one. I had one of your like not Halloween, but October ones. Might have
Mm.
been the fall bastard. Was
Oh,
it
okay. Or autumn
autumn
bastard or something
bastard?
like that.
It was one of those, but
Yeah.
I think it was like a. I don't know if somebody actually made it like as a custom and you made it, or if it was one of yours. Because
Mm.
I've had
Yeah. I
one
can't.
custom of yours. It was like the Irish Springs bastard or something like that. Is kind
Oh,
of like
okay.
the one that you did. It was or the Irish bastard. I wanted it to
Yeah.
kind of smell like Irish Springs.
Mm-hmm.
I love that smell.
Yeah. That dry like soap smell. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's nothing better than like when you get out of the shower and it like the whole room smells. And that's why I like your pine tar soap. That's the hands down the
Yeah.
best pine tar soap out there.
Yep.
It's very, very prominent that it's in the room.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't really, because everybody always is afraid. They're like, "Oh, is it going to linger in my beard?" No, it doesn't actually. Once
No.
you know, rinse it out, put in your
It's gonna
product.
feel like your beard is clean for
Yeah.
once. Like it's gonna literally strip everything out of your beard.
Hmm. Yeah,
But like,
without making it feel like crispy or anything.
no,
Yeah.
it feels. I mean, it just feels like a normal beard. Like I think it does strip your beard pretty good, but like it doesn't feel like it's like dry or anything.
Yeah.
Like you would
Yeah.
if you used probably Irish Springs.
Oh man, to use Irish Spring. Good luck. Yeah.
If I could have an Irish Springs like like somebody shaved the Irish Springs into a beard oil bottle like and put it in my beard, man, they'd have me sold.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to imitate a smell so good to where like even after it's even like changed smells in that person's chemistry, it's like it's going to change no matter what.
Hmm.
And you've got to anticipate that too. It's like, oh, this guy wants that, but like, what's it going to smell after he puts it in his beard?
Yep. Yeah, some of those really crazy profiles that I do on customs, I'll actually put it in while I'm doing it and let it chill for a little while. And I've actually come back to it and added something else or added a little bit more of whatever because it changes as soon as it hits your skin or heat, it changes a lot out of the bottle.
Oh yeah.
Which brings me to the point too where I've had people that have ordered stuff and they're like, "Oh man, I opened up my package and I smelled it and I didn't like it." And I'm like, try it once and then let me know what you think. And they're like, okay. And then they'll come back. They're like, oh, I'm an idiot. I put it in my beard. It's freaking amazing. Like
Oh
once it
yeah.
opens up, I'm like, yep, you're welcome.
Like in bottle, you don't get enough in like smelling it right out of the bottle because
Mm-hmm.
everything like day to day that is even with the temperature of the day or like what type of humidity you got.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite part about like creating something like a new that somebody has never smelled? Kind of like 1912. What was your favorite part about the creation process behind that?
That one was by accident, believe it or not. Yeah, the 1912.
Do you remember
Um,
like how you prepared it? Like, did you have like a I don't know like a mantra that you kind of went by? Like, I'm gonna do this and write this down. I'm gonna tweak this that way.
no, I was actually just putting a bunch of stuff away and touching bottles. And then, when I was done organizing everything, I was like, I'm always smelling stuff. And I'm like smelling my hands. I'm like, dang, that smells good. What is that? So I
How many
had to
bottles did
like,
I touch?
exactly. So I had to like reverse engineer, like, okay, remember I touched that one? I poured this one into a different one, and like finally I figured it out and started playing with it. And boom, 1912 was born. Otherwise, it would have not existed because like I wouldn't have thought of mixing like, black pepper with a little bit of coffee and, like all the random things that I put in the 1912, which made it the 1912. Crazy.
Is that why it's called the 1912? Probably because it took 1912
Yeah.
profiles.
No, because it actually just reminded me of like antique. It was just kind of like an old fashioned smell. So that's why I ended up choosing the 1912. I'm like, this reminds me of like if you walked into like a old general store, back in 1912, this is what it would smell like because you're going to smell like, the leather, you're going to smell like the wooden floors, maybe some coffee beans and like the hemp sacks that they used to like put stuff in and just that old dust smell. Like that's what it reminded me of.
Now, I don't know if how time in the time that I've been a kid and watched like TV shows growing up, but do you remember that Thomas the Tank Engine TV show
Yeah.
where they had the little conductor and it was the comedian, the old white guy with the white beard, George Carlin. He was the
Yeah.
conductor. Okay,
Uh
that's what I think of when I smell 1912. Like that
huh.
the old leather like benches where you're waiting for your train and the
Yeah.
people that would come in with a pipe. Like that's what
That's
I think
cool.
of.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't, and a lot of people don't remember and I forgot what it was called. I just remember George Carlin was like the conductor of the train. He was a little midget guy that would appear out of nowhere, and then you had like the weird guys that used to have the chain collector, and they would put in music into the jukebox and all that stuff. It was
Mm-hmm.
kind of weird, but
Yeah.
just those old leather seats, like the benches, like a pew, like the
Mm-hmm.
leather ones that you used to be able to sit and wait in. Like that's what I got, and the wood floors, just those old wood floors that like
Yep.
hundreds of millions of people have walked across.
Yep. Yep. Stained with different types of oils and different things that are spilled on it. Yep.
And then you have like the kid over in the corner shining shoes for like a quarter.
Yep.
And that's what I get. Like, I've always enjoyed like smelling something and like trying to apply like a time in my life or even a song. Like that was my favorite thing, was like putting music to like what I'm smelling. Like
Mm-hmm.
1912. I don't know if I could put a song to it other than maybe like you remember that old song Nickelodeon? Put another nickel in the Nickelodeon. All I wanted. It's a really
Mm.
old song, 1920s.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, it's back when they had flappers and stuff like that. I was a
I have a,
history major, so I remember stupid stuff.
I have a lot of people that um will, if like they'll try something and they're like it brought them back to like a time, like they remember like a certain moment or something like that. And a lot of times people will email me and they're like, yeah, I don't usually do this kind of stuff, but I have to tell you, like, I tried your whatever bastard, and it reminded me of like the certain time, and brought me back. And I'm like, that's exactly why I create all these crazy customs, because if that hits somebody in the feels like that, like that's some pretty cool shit.
Oh yeah,
Again,
and
it's not just like pine needles and musk.
yeah, and a weird one for me was like my mom used to take me to the barber shop, and it was like this old barber shop where like men were just smoking like trains, like it was crazy.
Uh-huh.
And I'd be sitting there and just listening to the conversations, but I remember a very distinct smell, and it's one of those heating shaving cream like machines that used to heat inside the box that have to
Uh-huh.
hit a dispenser button, and then they would put it on the guy's face and straight raise him. Like the barbershop smell like kind of took me back to that. So like my mom passed away in 2020. So
Mhm.
I don't know if you're familiar with Hanyaker. You remember Hanyaker Beard
Yeah,
Company?
yeah, I've heard of them.
He had this a product called Blue Avenue, and it smelled just like, I smelled it and I kind of got like goosebumps, and it
Yeah.
kind of took me back to sitting there, and like it was my mom's favorite smelling beard oil. But like when she passed away, it's like, man, you can't get that time in life back again. Like
Yeah.
you've got to keep as much as you can, and like just remember it. It's kind of weird,
Hmm.
and that's the weirdest thing about smells.
Yeah.
It could bring
Yeah.
you to like to your knees sometimes.
Hmm. Yeah, that's happened with like sacred and holy.
Holy
People
bastard's
will
a guilty
message me and be
pleasure.
like, "Oh man, that reminds me of my grandfather. There's certain like aftershave he used to wear, and it like immediately, hits him. Like that's cool,
Yeah, holy
cool.
bastard. I could sit there and like smell the bottle. Like I didn't even need to put it in. I would just want to smell the bottle. It's like
Hmm.
it has like this nutty, like fresh, like your old blend, because you reblended that one too, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah, because it was the frankincense that I was using on the original one. Couldn't get anymore, and it was like really thick and really dark, and it just had this like sweet, juicy note to it. And then they changed the formula for whatever reason, so the note that it lost that like old juiciness flavor to it.
I haven't smelled a new holy bastard, but like the old one, when I smelled it, I got like a nutty, like tone to it. It was kind of weird, but
Hmm.
like you also get like that almost kind of like sacred, how it has like that very thin, smoky smell to it,
Yeah.
like right off the top. But it's
Yep.
very unique, and every single one of your oils has a very unique smell, and I don't think there's one that smells like another. And that's what's cool
Nope.
about luxurious.
Yeah. Yeah, and I get that question all the time. They're like, "Oh, you're out of, you know, this one. What smells like it?" I'm like,
Nothing.
nothing, because I don't make anything that's like too close together. There's no
And
point.
now you've gotten way better at stocking stuff. Like you used to have to wait weeks sometimes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
people better be happy that you can at least stock some stuff and keep it on your shelf a little bit.
dude, yeah, let me tell you. It's
1912, you used to wait like 2 months to get that.
Yep.
If you weren't
Yep.
there on a Sunday, then you better be hoping to pay attention next month on Sunday.
Exactly. And I'd have people get mad because they'd be waiting, and I do a drop on Sunday. I'm like, all right, I'm restocking 1912. I'm restocking,
Check your email.
whatever. And I would make, 100 oils, 40 or 50 butters, and like, 40 or 50 balms, and they would be gone in like 10 minutes. People would email me like, I had this, I had it in my cart and now it's gone. Like, I'm so mad. I'm never going to buy from you again. Then they'd be back like a week later. They're
All right,
like,
I'll buy from you just because I really
yeah,
want to. I need it. I'm jonesing for it. You got any
yeah,
more of that 1912?
pretty crazy. So I try to amongst everything else I do. And that's another thing. People think like I'm some huge entity. It's just me. I got me, and then I got
If they don't
one that,
follow you on social media, then they need to like in retrospect, like you need to follow the people that you're buying from, like just to
yeah.
get a vibe of like what they're going through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you, I
So
mean, you tell us, hey, we're dropping. I think you used to do it on Fridays, that you were dropping it on Sundays.
yeah. Yeah. I would send out an email usually like Saturday, like this is coming Sunday. But now that my email list is like over 12,000 people, I try to just send
Man,
it on Sunday alone. Like, all right, it's going up. Products are live. Go get
yeah.
them. Plus, I have the app
I used
now
to sit
too.
there and refresh my screen,
Yep.
like when, but it wasn't because I was worried that it was going to be gone. I just wanted to make sure that, like, because I had to time it out, because 2 o'clock my time is when you dropped it at noon,
Mm,
the West Coast. So I had to be there to sit there and refresh the screen. That way I could go do whatever it is the wife wanted to do that day. It's like, well, I got to
yeah.
be back at the house so I have Wi-Fi and I can get this whatever it is.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I mean, that's the struggle.
Yep. And that used to jack up my inventory because I'd be online trying to put the products in there and save it. Well, the problem is there's like 700 people in there refreshing it, so a lot of times it wouldn't save, or if it did, it was like it would just mess the system up pretty bad. But now that I'm on Shopify, um, loading up the stuff is a lot easier now, and it saves it a lot quicker.
Yeah, your website is way smoother. Like it's very well organized. I like
Yeah.
that. Like I can just go and find something pretty easy.
And now that I have the app too on the phone, that makes
Yeah.
it a lot easier as well, especially for sending like quick push notifications or stuff like that.
Yeah, you used to send text messages too, didn't you?
Yeah, but it just got there was like too many things going out, so I would try to eliminate some of the stuff that was redundant. Now with the app, everybody uses apps these days. It
Yeah,
seems
the
like.
app is pretty much makes up for like the text messaging, because you're
Yeah.
getting notified as long as you like allow push notifications.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
So, but you could probably thank Scuba for that whole 1912 fiasco, because he blew that up. At least when I first started getting into it, because I didn't.
Yeah.
It was weird because I didn't understand the concept of oil and balm at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I got 1912 balm, but I got my first oil I ever bought from me was Holy Bastard, and it was the oil. So I got those together. And what's weird is that Scuba lives 45 minutes away from me, and we've never seen each other.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, he pretty much blew up the whole beard game for me, because it was like me and Barbu, we sent him some stuff, and after that I went from like 10 orders a week to like 25 a day. And then it just because I was still doing stuff out of my house, still working for the Department of Defense, so I was like being able to do both of them at the same time. But then after that, it was like I would bring stacks of orders into work, literally with all my stuff, and I was labeling bottles and things like that. And then finally, like,
Multitasking.
yeah, my boss was like, you know what, you need to like quit this job and do luxurious full time. And I was like, oh, I don't know, that's a
Health
you
insurance
know
is expensive these days.
yeah, walking away from 70,000 a year with medical, dental, like all that stuff. I was like, I don't think so. But scariest thing I ever did, and now look at 6 years later,
And that's how
still.
it started, wasn't it? You were making it for your coworkers.
Yep. Well, for myself, actually.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah,
then
I
like your
was making it.
coworkers got like, was it Christmas gifts or something like that? You were like, hey, try this.
They just got wind of it, and like I'd be walking down the thing there at work, and people are like, hey, what do you use for your beard? And I'm like, oh, I make it. And they're like, oh, can you make me something? So just kind of like snowball rolling downhill.
That's how Luxurious Customs got started.
Yeah, I know, right? Yep. Which
Like,
I'm working on right now.
oh, you're going to do that like full time?
Well, I'm doing customs at the moment. I
Oh, you
opened
have it
up
open right now?
customs. Yeah, I opened up customs in July, like the week after 4th of July. So I got like, and I only opened it up for like 8 hours, and I still got 119 orders.
Oh, man. I remember the
Yeah.
one time that I did do it. Like, I was like, hey, I'm going to try it. Because I know that whenever you were on your lives, you would be like, I got 212 freaking customs in one day. It's like,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to try it. And I think that time, I think you had like the 212, and it's like, oh man. So like you
Yeah.
have to be patient with that too. It's like this dude's also making them and then also shipping them after it's made.
Yep. Plus
So
trying to keep up with regular inventory because there's 75% of the customers that are just going to the website like, why is everything sold out? And I'm like, I have to explain to them what I'm doing, which then leads to, oh, I want to have something custom made. I'm like, you gotta wait.
you got to wait till
Yeah.
it opens again.
Yep. Which will probably be like November or something before I do
Like
it
you should
again.
just have it like twice a year. Like, hey, it's going to be at this date or this date. Like, and
Yep.
nobody can complain about it. Oh, November 11th, like Veterans Day. I've got to have it in by then.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
Yep.
it's closed. I told you last year or 6 months
Hmm.
ago.
Yep. So that's what I'm doing now. I do it like July-ish and then like end of the year.
Well, like I think that with your website, I think that that helped you probably more just because it keeps you organized.
Hmm.
Like it's just so much cleaner and very much. It's like your other website wasn't bad, and I think you used. I'm assuming it was
GoDaddy.
probably good. Yeah, like it got
GoDaddy.
that just that vibe of like it was very limited to you.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
like what the one thing that I did like about it is that you could go in there and search bar. You ain't got to go
Hmm.
through the whole line because the GoDaddy website you had it in order of what the last time you dropped it. So like
Yeah.
if it was Bilberry and Bilberry came out like 2 months ago and then you dropped 10 more, so you got to go 10 more cents
Yeah.
down.
Yep. Yep. Now you can just search bar or, I have the tabs is what, supposed to be like optimized, like for him, for her, beard oil, limited releases, plus I
Boring
got
stuff.
coffee now and a lot
Oh,
of
you have
swag.
coffee?
Yeah, I
Oh
got
wow, that's
custom
cool.
small batch coffee that I actually fill myself. I have a roaster that roasts the beans for me, but then I bag them, and I even do the little freaking K cups too, which are a pain in the ass.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I actually got my wife hooked on this stuff from Texas called Drag Up Coffee. Like she loves it. It's this
Mm.
just one flavor that she likes from it. It's a Texas pecan,
Uh huh.
and that's the only one that she likes from that company. But like anytime she is out of it, she's like, "Hey, could you go get that stuff?" I was like, the website's called dragup.com, right? It's like
Yeah.
you just go get it anytime.
Yeah.
No, like that's cool.
I have a dark roast, and then I have an espresso roast in whole bean and ground,
I've
one
never
pound
been
bags.
a coffee drinker, but like every once in a while I would dabble in it. Usually when I'm cold. Like if
Mm-hmm.
I'm too cold, then it's -10 blowing 30 miles an hour here in Kansas. So like I would much rather be cold than hot any day of the week. But like coffee for me has always either been to get warm or to alleviate constipation. Like that's the only thing I used it for. It's like,
Mm.
hey, we got to get things rolling.
Yeah, I love it, hot or cold. Like usually in the mornings, having a nice dark coffee with a little bit of sweet creamer in it, paired up with a pipe or a cigar. It's like a ritual now.
Yeah, that used to be like
Yeah.
your daily thing on Instagram. You used to go live every morning.
Yeah.
Do you
Now
still
there's
do
no
that?
time. No time. I do the coffee throw, which, I nailed the coffee throw after, I think that took me like 4 years.
Oh, you finally got one in, huh?
Finally got it. And it was like, wasn't even expecting it. I was talking about something. It was like single toss and it just went boop right in. And I'm like, holy shit, I made it. And I'm like, now what do I do? So
Post that to TikTok, you get a million reels.
yeah, I actually sent it over to what is it, Dude Perfect? Those guys that do all those
Ah,
trick shots. I doubt they'll see it, but it would be cool if they
they're too
saw it and
big,
posted it.
probably.
Yeah,
They'll see it
yeah,
like in 10 years. They're like, oh, we've
yeah,
done that
probably.
300 times.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's impressive because I remember you used to do that every morning for like you said, 4 years. It's like
Yep.
365
Talk
times.
talk about dedication.
Yeah, and it was a morning ritual. Like when I worked 12 to 8 p.m., like that's when I would be able to tag in on your morning things on Instagram. But now I work a normal job, 7 to 8 or 7 to 3. Same job,
Yeah.
just different time. So, but I still every once in a while still dabble in the pipe thing. But like I said, like nothing beats a cigar. Like it's so much more low maintenance. It's like you just got
Yep.
to light that sucker and then
Yep.
just relax.
Yeah, now I get a lot of compliments on my cigars. I'll be, wherever, Vegas or just somewhere, and I'm I've tried a lot of different cigars and I've narrowed it down to a bunch that I like. And I always get somebody, at least one person will come up to me like, "Hey, excuse me, like, what cigar is that? It smells so good." Like, I'm like, "Oh, it's, XYZ." And they're like,
What is your
"Oh, can I?"
favorite cigar, by the way?
Right now, it's mm, probably the Kentucky Fire Cured Sweets,
Ooh,
fat,
yeah.
the Fat Molly.
You've had that one for a while. I actually bought one
Yeah,
because you were smoking on one of your lives. So that's been probably
yeah,
3 years.
yeah, yeah. That one's a great one. And then
The Green
there's another
Monster's
one.
pretty good too.
Which one?
The Swamp Monster, it's like wrapped in the green leaf.
Oh, okay.
Like
Yeah.
it's the same maker, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then there's another one that I recently found that has like a hint of like this, almost like a coffee note in it, but it's not a. It doesn't have like that fake coffee taste. And that one, like obviously combined with a good coffee or a Dr. Pepper, is just so good.
Oh,
And
cold Dr.
and
Pepper
it's
and a cigar is so good.
yes, yeah,
Like a lot of people underestimate the power of a Dr. Pepper, especially a cold one.
exactly. It's like
Like,
a palate cleanser.
oh, and it's so good.
Hmm.
Like as a kid, I remember drinking cold Dr. Pepper and like a Reese's peanut butter cup. Like those two
Hmm.
paired together is it's on another level of amazing.
Yeah,
But like
yep.
with
It's
a
like
cigar, I think it's like the amaretto flavor that you get in it too. Like I get a lot of amaretto, like a flat amaretto tastes like a Dr. Pepper to me,
yeah, yeah. I
like a
could see that.
Disaronno.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
but have you bought Jeremy Sears' Cigar Bible? Did you ever buy that?
No, no. I think the last thing I ordered from him was those big chunks of the cards, the
Oh,
big
the man
brass
cards.
man
Yeah,
cards. Yeah,
he is on another level of like when he creates something. And that's one thing that I give him props for. When he creates something, he makes it perfect, or he's not going to make it. He's going to go all out on it, and that's why I
yeah,
appreciate his channel.
yeah, yep.
Have
That's
you?
what
Has
I
he
try
used
to
your
do.
product?
Yeah, actually, I sent him some stuff a while back, and he's actually put out a few shout outs. I know he told me back in the day that he was under contract with
Beard brand, probably.
Beard Brand, yeah.
Yeah.
But he was like, dude, he's like, between you and me, low key, like your stuff smokes them just for feel and beard and scent profiles, you know?
And no shot at Beard Brand. Like I'm not knocking them at all. Like
Yeah,
yours is hands down like the best feeling beard for me. Just especially if I want to just feel natural. Like that
yeah,
way it doesn't feel like something bogging my beard down. Like it's
yeah.
I wear two for when I'm going to do a trim of some sort. It's yours and EDC Beard Co. And
Mm-hmm.
they're pretty small and fairly new, but like he was actually on here. The first beard company owner on here was Lee from EDC Beard Co. And I kind of wanted to just sit down with beard company owners, kind of get their vibe and like what their process is of like writing like an idea down. Like a
Yeah.
lot of what I've gathered is like people have all these ideas, but they don't write them down. It's like, man, what happens if like you forget?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it just
Yeah.
came to me one day, but like you're gonna remember that, Mister
Hmm.
Stoic.
Yep. Got to use the phone. Got to use the notepad feature.
and I've tried to do that with a lot of my stuff, but like nothing beats a pen and paper. Like I've always enjoyed write. Like I always remember it more now when I write it down. And now
Hmm.
that I'm actually the ring announcer for this wrestling company called Heartland Championship Wrestling, so like every time I take probably 2 hours and I write down everybody's name on the cards of who I'm going to announce, and then I kind of go through them 6 or 7 times just so I can memorize it. So I ain't got to look so much at the card. It's like I got to
Yeah.
write it down. Got to.
Yep. Yep.
And how old are you, by the way? I've never actually asked you that. I'm assuming that you're probably less than 10 years older than me.
48.
Oh wow, okay. So you
Yeah.
are 12 years older than me. I'm 36.
Yeah.
So
1976 bicentennial baby.
my wife is older than you, though. My wife is 51.
Yeah.
So I'm into them older broads, man.
the
But
the Cougars, right?
she's a cougar now that she's over 50. She
Yeah.
used to be a puma. That's apparently what
Uh,
they called them back then. I don't know.
okay.
But no, how did you relate? I was curious about this just because of like I noticed that your relationship with like Scott from Was it No BS is I mixed him up.
It is Matt.
Scott is, yeah, Matt from No BS, and
Yeah.
then you have Scott. Uh, how did your
You
relationship start with Scuba? Because he was pretty much your ultimate like first guy that you talked to, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't even know how. I think I was just following Scuba and for like beard care stuff, and I was ordering stuff from another company, and then they went out of business or they stopped making something. So then I started making it, and then it grew to like selling it to different people, and they all loved it, and they're like, "Oh, you should sell it." And then I remember like, "Oh, I think he was doing like box openings from
Hmm.
companies, and I just happened to like reach out and send him something, or contact him. He's like, "Oh yeah, send me something," and that's how that started. And then from there, um, like Dan C Bearded, Matt No BS, and all of them, they were all kind of like new
Yeah, they were
in
coming up
the
together almost, and then Dan
yeah,
just took
almost.
off.
Uh-huh. And just then started building relationships with them, and that's how that kind of all started. And I've been friends with Scott ever since then, like even on a
Yeah, he's like addicted to
personal.
your 1912. That dude bought like,
Yeah.
or he got like a 4 ounce beard oil one
Yeah,
time.
he was the only person ever to have a 4 ounce bottle. Yep.
Has he gone through it yet?
I think so. Yeah.
Dang.
I think he's on his second one.
Holy moly. And that's one thing I didn't get. And then I wish I sort of got like, there's something about the 1912 that you always want to go back to. Like, just because I'm a fan of the smoke, I wanted the cologne, but like, I
Mhm.
couldn't justify it because that the oil alone is strong enough to where like people smell it.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
just couldn't justify buying it. It's not that I didn't want it, but I mean, I've bought several other things that you've created. It's like I've got ring. I don't wear rings until like recently. Like I got you one of your rings, and then I bought another one, and then I got one from my dad. Got me one after my mom passed from Clocks and
Okay.
Colors.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, I don't really wear rings, but like I did get
Mhm.
like your big old skull ring. There's no reason for me to have that.
Yeah. That's cool. Yep.
But no, I do want people to like realize that like and I don't know how you feel like your relationship with reviewers, like it shouldn't be like a like necessarily an exchange for like one like money or time. Like if I appreciate your stuff, I'm gonna be able to shout you out. Like that should be one thing that like if I like a product, and that's even if I'm not big at all. Like I'm not very big at all. Like I've got a couple hundred followers on Instagram. Like, but if I like your stuff, like just that simple shout out could like blow that company up.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like with
Yeah,
Scuba.
word of mouth is powerful. Yep.
And Dan, like the thing about him, the one thing that I would give Dan like 100% props on, he takes his time to break down why he likes something.
Yeah.
And like
Very
his
thorough.
sim
Yep.
profile is nothing that I like usually, but like he does have his luxurious bastard sent with you, the command bastard,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
Yeah,
always been like a popular one.
we did two new ones. One was called Calm and the other one was Fresh.
Calm. Is that like
Mm-hmm.
soothing? Because soothing is like
No,
nothing
not like
beats soothing.
soothing.
Nothing
Yeah,
beats soothing.
not like soothing, but they're all his like style, his vibe.
Oh,
And then
so
of
like
course
a
he likes
lemon citrus.
the citrus, my sweet
Yeah.
bastard. That's like another favorite
Oh
of
yeah.
his. Yeah.
And I would
Yep.
have to say that like your like I think your relationship blossomed more when you and Dan kind of what I assume you guys sat down and just talked about like how things are ran with your company. Is that what happened?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the he started getting involved in like other companies and started actually seeing like because he knows now like what works, what doesn't, and so we kind of had a little powwow and you know re not renegotiated but like got rid of a bunch of stuff and like a lot of ideas like on the website
You just
and
took a
things.
second look at it.
Yeah. And told me like don't waste your time with that, that stuff is snake oil, do more of this. And so
And
that
he
was
got
a
into
couple
like
years ago now.
legalities of like how they like curate certain things. Like, hey, this is why they put this in there and not for this.
Yeah.
Like a
Yep.
filler rather than an actual like nutrients for your beard.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's actually coming on next week.
Oh, sweet.
And that'll be his second time. I love Dan's like enthusiasm for like that dude loves content creation, and
Oh yeah,
it shows.
information. He's an encyclopedia of everything beards now. Yep.
Beards, I would say beards and soccer, and like
Yeah.
he used to be a history teacher. Like that dude, like, and I think that's also kind of like why we jive is that one, we're the same age, but I went to school to be a history teacher. He just ended up being a history teacher. That like
Hmm.
they just don't hire history teachers anymore, at least where I'm from.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, it's
That's so
been cool
rad.
to watch your relationship build with Dan. Also, like every once in a while, you'd see you pop up. Like I think when you guys did your oh, what line was that? Your legendary line, the legendary bastard with the ood.
Hmm.
Yeah, when you did that and you gave it to all of them, that was the last time I saw you actually on a live stream with all three of them. It was with
Hmm.
Scott, Matt, and Dan. I don't know if Scuba was on there or not,
I
but
don't
you
think
gave
so.
them all a
No.
bottle, and it came with like
Yeah.
that red chest.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I still got the red chest, and I got my bottle still. Like I'll never get rid of that bottle just because it's got a number. It's like whatever number of however many you made.
Yeah. That
But
was cool.
like that was the last time I saw you and Dan really collab together and talk about like a scent profile, and then now you've just like your relationship has gotten so much bigger.
Hmm. Yep.
And now you're a sponsor on his Facebook channel like every couple
Yeah.
months.
Yep. Yep. Working out good. Starting to pick
Man,
up more influencers and ambassadors. From like comedians to just.
you got comedians, huh?
Hmm. Yeah, and then what's his face from Gold Rush, Alaska, Fred Lewis.
Oh wow.
I'll be
Isn't that
picking
the
up.
dude from Jewel? Isn't that Jewel's dad on there? The singer
Uh,
Jewel?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, the
Uh,
lead Jewel's dad is like the main guy on that show.
oh, really? Hmm.
Yeah. I think it's Gold Rush. It might be there's another one in Alaska where like they live off the land, like off the grid.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm
But
not
Jewel's
sure.
dad is like the main dude on there.
And then I'm hopefully going to be signing a little deal with a pitcher from the Orioles. Got a massive beard. Apparently, he's tried my stuff and wants to like
Dang.
work with me somehow in promoting. And yeah, so
Man, Lux is getting too big for me now. Jeez.
nah, I'll always be me. Like I'm never gonna change. Just like I don't want to get
No.
so big where I can't control anything anymore.
Right. And that's
Yeah,
what I like just to have the banter between myself and another beard company. That was always fun because I've always sent you messages. I've never asked you to be on here until like 6 months ago. And like that
yeah,
was the one thing that I've always wanted to do is like reviewing wasn't for me, but to sit down and actually get to know the people that are creating things that I'm using or that I love, and just to sit down and actually get to know them just a little bit more. That was my goal.
yeah.
So like, I hope you don't get too big for me. I mean, I'm not a major
Nah.
league pitcher, but like, man, I'll throw 90 mile an hour for a bottle of soothing bastard, bro.
Hey, I have a. Looks like FedEx is making a delivery right now. You mind if I go grab that?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that.
No
That's one
worries.
disadvantage about being home. Be
No
right back.
worries.
All right.
Crazy thing. I
I had
actually
to
got a
sign for
memory.
it. It was cigars.
Ooh, fill up the
Yeah.
humidor.
Victor Sinclair Limiteds.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I actually have a box. Well, it's not. I don't think it's Victor Sinclair's. I keep a lot of cigar boxes just to put like knickknacks in.
Oh yeah. I have a collection at the home office. These ones are really nice. They're a triple shot. They come in a glass
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
deal. And
Fancy.
there's like four different flavors. There's like this one is rum, then there's like whiskey, tequila. These ones will kick your ass. These are after dinner, sip it slowly and be careful.
Like a dessert cigar.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's funny you brought up the Oktoberfest because I got a memory on my phone from Facebook saying August 7th of 2015, I was sipping on an Oktoberfest.
Nice.
It's like, dang, August 7th. Nah, like with those cigars, like the one thing that I've had problems with is that I don't have room for like one of those chest humidors, but I do. I curated my own. I got a whole bunch of those like humid packs, and then I put them
Uh-huh.
into like a boat, like a first aid kit box, like the
Mm.
waterproof boxes.
Oh yeah,
And then,
yeah.
yeah, and I kind of just curated that and I filled that up. I think it holds about 80 plus cigars. So
I
that's
need
all
to
I
do
need.
a review of ones that I got sent. Let me try to take a picture. So I got one from a company that apparently they saw my YouTube channel and smoking the cigars, and they're like, "We want to send you one for free if you do a review on it." I'm like, "Hell yeah!" So I liked it so much, I bought a second one.
Oh, are they expensive for like one cigar or something to buy one?
No, it's a. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that, but I mean,
Oh, is that your humidor?
yeah, there are two of them side by side.
Yeah, you have one of those at your shop, I think, don't you? One of the tabletop ones?
Yeah, it's a smaller unit. These ones are a lot bigger. Like a little mini fridge. You know, you have the spot in there for the humidor stuff and temperature controlled and all that.
Oh, yeah.
And but I love them. They're like perfect.
Well, I watch a podcast about, I think it's a podcast about cigars. It's called The Bird Down. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but
Mm.
they have their own cigar coming out and they're in, I think, 5 states now. Like it's a podcast, a group of guys that have a podcast and all they do is smoke cigars on there. So that's pretty dope.
That
Like
sounds legit.
if I could smoke a cigar in my house, that'd be legit. Like,
Yeah.
but I would
Like
need wood floors and I would need that. Like that's one thing Jeremy Sears, like that room that he has, he spent so much time like building like the just the flow of where smoke would go. Like
yeah.
just to build that, I would have to buy another house.
Yeah, yep. That's why when I build my new house, that's going to be in the plans for sure.
I almost need like a
Basement
he shed.
with a cigar, lounge area which will hold like wine and liquors, underground movie theater, and then sports bar area. It'll be nice.
A bunker.
Yeah.
Do you drink wine?
Occasionally, yeah.
I've like wine has just always been one that gives me a headache and I regret it the day after. Like no matter how much I drink, but like beer, the bad thing about beer is if I have too many of them, it makes my gout flare.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
bad.
Wine, if the cheap ones will give you headaches, but I've tried a bunch of them, so I've narrowed it down to like only a few.
Yeah, there's actually one that is sponsoring the oh, it's they're sponsoring the wrestling podcast that I started and it's called Windy Wine and
Oh,
he's a
okay.
wrestler.
Oh, that's cool.
It's called the Plunk. The Plunk Rosé is his name.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's him and his wife started this winery and he also makes whiskey. So whenever I get the whiskey, I need to try that quick. But this
Yeah,
one's called the Miranda Berry, and then his is the Plunk Rosé,
that's cool.
and they're both professional wrestlers. So when I try that whiskey, I'll have to let you know if it tastes any good. But he makes like a
Yeah.
Christmas whiskey. It's like a cranberry like sauce whiskey. It's kind of
Uh
weird.
huh.
And
Huh.
I don't know if you drink whiskey or not, but that's what I've dabbled in is the whiskey and like it doesn't make my gout flare up, and it tastes
Yeah.
great with cigars.
Yeah.
Like every cigar changes it.
I belong to a gentleman's lounge, like cigar club, and that's where a group of guys, like half a dozen of us, will go there, and we'll all bring our own little bottles of whatever, and we kind of put it on the table, and everybody can sample like different things, while we're smoking our cigars. That's really the only time I, do stuff like that. I'm always a, beer or occasional wine.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
like
because you got to be careful sipping on, liquors with a good cigar. you'll
oh
be,
yeah,
yeah, you'll be
like
incapacitated real fast.
well, I'll smoke a cigar and then I'll have like I've got this little like whiskey like wine tasting set that has like 4 glasses in it, and I'll
Hmm.
try a different whiskey with that one cigar with four different whiskeys at least, but it's only like less than half an ounce. So,
Yep.
but the way that it changes the profile the way that the cigar changes the profile of a whiskey blew my mind. There's so much
Hmm.
science behind it; it's crazy.
Yep.
And
And foods, like different foods paired with it too.
yeah, I've never done like the cheese and stuff like that or like crackers or whatnot, but I have had like something that day and like I've loved a cigar before, right? Like I'll smoke like say it's your Kentucky the Kentucky ones that you had, that they smell and they almost have like a hint of a leather taste to it to me. Like they almost smell like a leather, like a old leather, like glove.
Old boot or something. Yeah.
Yeah, or an old like baseball glove or something like that.
Okay.
But then when you smoke it, it tastes nothing like that. But I
Mm-hmm.
had something one day to where I couldn't smoke that cigar. It like ruined the taste of it
Oh
terribly.
wow.
It was like a, I don't know, like a Baconator from Wendy's or something. And I was like, oh no,
Yep. It's like
how
when
does
you
bacon
brush your
ruin
teeth and you
anything?
try to drink water. It's like, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
Yep.
you ruined your, like, you ruined this cigar, but I'm going to smoke it because I paid $4 for it.
Yeah.
But that's another thing Kansas doesn't have is, are like, they don't have very many of those lounges. Like they do have a couple in Wichita, kind of where Scuba lives,
Mm.
but that's a 45-minute drive for me. And then Hush, my area, like we've got 40,000 people that live here. They're actually getting ready to build like a smoke lounge. So that's going to be pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
How many
Yep. That.
how many people live where you're at?
Apple Valley. Let me see if I can.
I just didn't know like how many people like is it just so much stuff there that like you can't
It.
even lose
Nah,
something to
it's
do
not
every
too
weekend?
crazy. Yeah, but it is starting. They're starting to like build more and more stuff out here. According to 2021, 75,000 people in Apple Valley, just Apple Valley, because the high desert is like Apple Valley, Hesperia, Victorville. They're all like, we just call it all, the high desert. So they're probably roughly 75 to like 60,000 per. So it's getting big pretty quick.
So it's not much bigger than my area where I live. So like Wichita, which Scuba lives there, like that's I think 480,000
Oh,
just in
wow.
that area. So
Yeah.
that's the largest city in Kansas is Wichita, and then our of course then you have our capital, which is Topeka and all that other stuff. But
Mm,
like there's still not the volume of people in that area.
yeah.
It's pretty wild. Like how is your capital one of the smaller towns? No, I've always been curious about California. Like everybody talks about California, and like especially the ones that have lived there and that are from there. They talk about it in a almost a romantic way, to where it's kind of like you have to live there to understand what they're talking about. Like you have like, oh, like all the comedians that are from there that went to the comedy store to start out at. Like it was like the
Yeah.
mecca of comedy and all that stuff. Like I'm a huge fan of stand up comedy. That's always been my jam. Like I've always loved the history behind it and all that. So I think that's one of the reasons why I watch the Joe Rogan Experience. But like I also love just listening to people just talk about their way. Like Bert Kreischer, like that dude
Yeah.
is. Me and him have the
The,
same birthday, so me and him are
the
very.
Machine.
Oh, I love that movie. That was an awesome movie.
Did you see the new Joe Rogan stand up that he just put out on Netflix?
Watched it live on Saturday.
Yeah. Yep.
It was awesome.
Same.
It was his best. It was his best stand up for me. Like I've always considered Joe Rogan an okay comic. Like he
Hmm.
was always good. Like I've never hated it, but like this was hands down his best stuff that he's ever had. I've laughed more
Yeah.
times on that than I did on any of his other stuff.
Yep. That's cool.
But
I'm supposed to.
what comedians are you working with, or that can you say, or local?
Yeah. He's a newish guy, but he's also doing like a podcast and stuff like that. But I don't know if you've heard of Anthony Rogers.
Anthony Rogers.
Probably not going to
Uh-uh.
show up too well. But
No,
he's
but I
got
can
like
look
a
him up.
million followers on Instagram. He
Whoa.
has his little comedian stand up stuff. Plus, he's been doing this the Anthony Rogers show, on YouTube, where he interviews like everybody, like
Kind of like
anybody and
Joe Rogan.
everybody. Yeah, yeah,
I'll look them up. There's like I've looked at like a lot of comedians, like a ton of them have so many like big beards. Like there's this guy on Kill Tony. I don't know if you've ever watched Kill Tony. He's a redheaded beard. Like he's got a really thick red beard. Yeah, I can't.
yeah. So he's got a
Oh
big
wow,
beard.
he's got a ZZ Top beard.
Yeah.
He sort of looks like one of the guys that's in the beard community that like works at Walmart in their security. Like I don't know what his name is, but he always posts videos of him like catching thieves or whatever in Walmart. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it definitely has. probably in the comedian world, like one of the biggest beards.
Oh wow. Yeah. I mean, that's iconic. I would say the most iconic comedian that has a beard is probably Ginger Billy.
Yeah.
Like he's got that thick old red beard.
Yeah.
No, William Montgomery is the guy that I'm thinking of. He's got a big old thick red beard. He's kind of wild. He's pretty wild. Like he's not necessarily my type of comic, but he's got some funny stuff. But
I actually got some tickets coming up pretty soon for Shang Wang. He's pretty funny.
Shane Wang.
Shang Wang is like a Chinese guy. Yeah, probably one. I think I found him on like Netflix and just randomly searching, and his show, I forget what he called it, but I have never laughed so hard just right off the beginning. Just with the stuff that he talks about, it's like so relatable. It's funny. Like one of the okay. Um, but yeah, Shang Wang, and like as soon as his little stand up thing started, and he's like the way he delivered his comedy was just like, yeah, when you given up on life, when you start shopping for pants at Costco, and like just like the funny, like just whatever he was saying, like I was literally like I had tears on some of his stuff. Mm.
My bad. It made me refresh my screen so I could come back in.
Oh,
But
still
it's
shows
recording.
recording on my side.
Yeah, it's recording now, but it did this last time, and this Riverside thing, like they did a really weird update, and
Mm.
it's been messed up ever since. So I think I might have to go back to StreamYard, but I do love the sound quality that it gives me afterwards. It sounds like we're in the same room.
Oh, that's cool.
But no, I'll have to check him. What's his name? Wang.
Shang Wang.
Shane
Yeah.
Wang. I got Anthony Rogers. Shane Wang. No, I went to Burt Kreischer's. Like he came to Wichita and he did his show here, and I did that, and that was awesome. Like it was like I've never been to like a live stand up arena show, and it's
Mm-hmm.
another level of wildness. And him himself brings a type of person to a crowd, and everything that you could think of what type of people that follow him, you would be 100% correct.
Yeah. One of my best stand-up comics, and I've been to him twice, was Dane Cook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gave a lot of hate to Dane Cook early in life. Like I always thought that he was trying to imitate Jim Carrey back when he was like big and popular, like going wild. But like I have to give him way more props about what he did with the stand up comedy alone. Like he like brought stand up comedy to where it is probably now.
Yeah. Yeah, I love his old stuff with his, over exaggerating girlfriend, or just like the way he talks about shit. He's like,
The Kool
like
Aid Man.
why, I went into a bathroom the other day, and he's like, why are all the doors broken? Why is everything wet? Why there's water dripping from the ceiling? Is like, did a shaggy dog come in here after a bath and just shake off? And
Yeah.
and he's like, who's kicking in all the doors? It's like, oh, I gotta take a shit. Kicking in the doors, it's like just some of the things that he comes up with. It's like, I have a over exaggerating girlfriend. He's like, uh Dane, oh my gosh, I took like 100-hour nap. And he's like, no, you didn't. That would be a coma. If you said, Dane, I took a coma after work, then okay, I would believe you. But you did not take 100-hour nap. Yeah.
So and that's why I appreciate what he's done is that like his little like his rants, like it reminds me of Bill Burr. Like I don't know if you watch Bill Burr's stand up.
Yeah, I've seen some of his
Those
stuff.
two together, like they rant about like odd things that like you wouldn't think would be funny. But now that I've gotten older, I think I appreciate it more because like back
Mhm.
then I was like, that's dumb. Like why would you complain about that? But now that I look back on it, it's like, okay, yeah, that's just annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over exaggerating girlfriends or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But like his not him, Shane Gillis. Have you ever listened to him?
I don't think so, no.
Oh man. That dude, he actually has a TV show now on Netflix called Tires. It's like a mini series. It's like a Seinfeld type, like multicam situational comedy,
Mm-hmm.
and he has blown up. Like he has this bit about like like because his whole family, I guess, has like this lineage of like a Down syndrome in the family. So like he goes, we can all agree that like the concept of the Special Olympics, it's funny, it's hilarious. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like I can admit that because like I mean, it missed me, but like it got half of my other family members.
Uh-huh.
And just he goes, honestly, can you sit there and think that like before the Special Olympics was invented, imagine if a friend came up to you and be like, hey, how about we race these guys? You'd be like, don't you ever say that again.
Mm-hmm.
Just the little innuendos, it's like, oh wow, this is good.
Mm-hmm.
So I recommend him, just like the way that he can bring something negative around to like to be like, okay, that's hilarious, because stand-up comedy is like 100%, we need that right now in life,
Yeah.
because if we didn't have that, I think we'd have way more suicides,
Yeah.
and that's the bad thing.
Nothing's better than a good belly laugh, like a honest to God laugh.
Like to where you can't breathe. Like
Yep.
there's only been a handful of comics that have done that, and like the late and great Robin Williams was my very first comic that I ever
Mm-hmm.
got to like watch and just kind of soak in every word that he said. Half the stuff I didn't understand because I was like 12,
Yeah.
but as I watched it, I rewatched it. I used to have it on VHS. I recorded Robin Williams live on Broadway when I was like, it was
Uh,
like 2099 or something like that. And I think I watched it probably 400 times. And it was just, I had it memorized. And the stuff that he said I didn't get, but it was funny.
yep.
And I've always loved his movies, of course, but like nothing hits closer to home to me than like the one that he did about what was that called? Good Morning Vietnam. Like for comedy wise,
Oh
like
yeah.
it's so
Uh-huh.
it like war should never be like laughed about, but like the way that he was able to bring people together to laugh, like that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I found that watching some of the older comment, like when I was young, Richard Pryor and like some of the old stuff. Now it's like hilarious because being older as they were, they're like, "Oh, I totally get it."
And
Like
I didn't
Gallagher.
understand his
Remember
burn stuff.
Gallagher when he used to
Yeah,
smash all of the fruit and stuff?
yeah, he used to just come out loud and obnoxious.
Hmm.
Like I just thought he was annoying as a kid. Like my dad used to watch like different comics or listen to them like on a like an old CD or record back when they used to have albums.
Yeah,
And I was like, why are
yeah,
you listening to that? That shit's annoying. And then now, like when they talk about that stuff, it's like, oh, they were talking about it when they were 30 something, because like
yeah,
that's what's annoying to them. And like,
yep.
and no, like I don't want to shine any light on it, but my dad introduced me to Bill Cosby back before Bill Cosby became Bill Cosby is now. Like a
Hey,
lot of
hey,
people
hey. Yep.
underestimated like his power of comedy because it was hilarious.
Hmm. I
The Bill
still
Cosby
remember his.
himself. Oh
I still
man.
remember his little thing on. Remember the "Dad is great, give us the chocolate cake."
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
Dad is
that's
great,
himself. That was
give us the
his
chocolate
show.
cake. Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
good one.
Chocolate cake has eggs in it.
Hmm.
Can we have some
Or
cake?
or Dad, I thought I was Jesus Christ. You
Oh
know.
yeah, he goes, God damn it and Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's like, no, Dad, I'm
For
Jesus
13 years I
Christ.
thought my name was God damn it.
Yeah.
God damn it, Jesus Christ, get over here.
Hmm.
That is like and that was clean comedy back then. That's bizarre to me because like
Yeah.
nowadays people consider that dirty. It's like that is
Yeah.
not dirty
Nope.
at all.
Not
Like that's
not
that's
with the
the
wild
cleanest
stuff
comedy
they
you can
got
get.
these days.
Oh yeah. Like one of my favorite comics is some of the women comics that are coming up now, like Nikki Glazer after she just blew up Tom Brady at the roast. Like that was the greatest thing I think I've ever seen.
Hmm.
Did you watch that?
The roast. Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
do you watch sports?
Not so much. I mean, Dodgers. I'll watch an occasional like Dodgers game, but I like to actually go there and watch it versus watching it on TV.
Nothing beats a live baseball game.
Yeah. Yeah. The smell, the pot, the hot dogs, and just the people. Yep.
And what's funny is I moved into a house that was built in 1908, and the year I moved into it was 2016. So the last year that the Cubs won the World Series was 1908, and then when I moved into it was the same year that they won the World Series, and I'm a Cubs fan. So it was pretty
Oh,
cool.
that's cool.
So
1908. Wow.
1908, my house was built. It was the first house within 3 square miles of the city, and
Mhm.
I don't have a garage. I have a carriage house, and I don't know if you know what that
Oh,
is.
yep. Yep.
It's wild. It's
Yeah.
old house.
That's cool.
It has its ups, but I would say the down, like if I could ever be a homeowner, it would be like to rebuild from the ground up, not to buy a house and then do it, because I would want it the way I want it now rather than pay somebody else to do it later.
Hmm. So you probably have like the old, or had the old wiring that was like cloth type, and
The wire,
or
like, oh yeah, well they rewired the house. Like I think they
oh,
had
okay,
to even resell it for it to pass like inspection.
yeah,
So like on my steps, when they went to go recover the steps, when they would take the old steps out, they had the old nails in it that had the square heads.
oh wow,
So like that's, I mean, everything about the house that's original to it is the windows are all original. So it's the old dummy weight system that they had in there, but all the dummy weights have been removed. So
mm-hmm,
like they would just slide up instead of like you could pull it up and then lock in the dummy weight to where it would stay open, but you've got to prop it open. So
yeah,
to pull it down, you would just slide the dummy weight out to where it would slide back up. So it's
yeah,
old.
that's cool.
And they had, back when my wife did a history channel of it, or not history channels, so like she went to the library and found out who lived here before us. And back then, when it was first built, there was two families that lived here. The one downstairs owned half of the house, and then they had a family upstairs that owned
Hmm.
half of the house. So it was kind of weird how they did that. Like they did that to cut costs and also travel.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
Hmm. Yeah, old stuff like that. Always, I like that style. Like when I move to Texas, I'm hoping that I'll find a, like an old town, like the main town that has like old buildings from like the late 1800s. Because I picture myself getting a building like a 3-story brick, having the retail store on the bottom level, and like the middle part of the building will be like a cigar lounge or like hangout area, and then upstairs will be like living quarters. But like I want that old, 1912 general store type vibe, wood floors, tin ceiling.
Yeah, that's how they have
Yeah.
them. Our main street is filled with those. So like
Yeah.
it's limestone, not brick here. So the
Uh-huh.
limestone that they used, that they brought in to build the prison. I work at a prison here in town, so I work for the state of Kansas, and I work behind the maximum security, the walls, and that's all built out of limestone. And like what I've read is that like when they were bringing that stuff over, they were bringing it over to build the wall and the building itself, but also other companies were buying it for them to bring to build theirs. So there's a
Oh,
ton of buildings on our main street that have that. In fact, like did you ever watch Smallville? It was an old TV show about Superman.
I think a few episodes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a scene in that show like where it shows like a bank getting blown up by a meteor or whatever. And that's actually the bank that we have, but it's one of the oldest banks in Kansas, and it's
Oh
built out
wow.
of that old limestone. The prison was built in 1889 or
Hmm.
1879, one of the two. So yeah, it's
That's
pretty
cool.
wild. Like, and when you say that, like I was thinking of like an old saloon. Like on the bottom was like the bar, the mid
Yep.
level was like the gentleman's club, and then the top level was like people that lived there.
Yeah. That's totally what my end goal. That's what I envision. I want to
Like Million Ways to
speak
Die in the
easy.
West is the vibe I get.
Yeah. Total speakeasy type vibe. You go to the back of
Oh
the
man, I
the
love that
lounge or
vibe.
the retail shop, and there's like a big bookshelf that you pull aside, and it leads to a staircase. Got
The
to have
tunnel,
a membership, to get in
code
there.
word.
Once you get in there, you got beer, you got cigars, you got some pool tables, you got old leather chairs that you can just hang out and shoot the shit.
And that's why I like
Definitely.
Jamaica. Like, have you ever been to Jamaica?
No, haven't.
Okay, we went on a destination wedding. It was called a wedding moon, is what it was called. And on the island that we were at, or I guess Jamaica is an island, but like the area that we were at on the island had a speakeasy on it, and it was called the Rabbit Hole,
Uh-huh.
and it was a giant hill covered in grass. And to get to the front door, you had to walk around, and it looked like the rabbit hole from Alice in Wonderland. And
Oh
it had
wow.
a tiny door. It was like maybe a 5 foot door that you had to
Hmm.
duck to get into. And I'm not a tall guy. I'm only like 5'8", but you had to have a password to get in there. And to get in there, once you got in there, you had to go down these winding staircases. And then when you get in there, everybody's dressed like the old time 1920s flappers and all that stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
And like I kept the menu at from the bar to where I could, like, if I wanted to make the drink I could, but like it just had like all these old 1920 vibe drink styles. So, like they had this one called the Raspberry Rambler. It was delicious.
Cool. Yeah.
If you
Yep.
ever get a chance to go.
Yeah, I have people even now that, because I have a brewery literally right next door to my shop. So I'll get people that accidentally come into my shop all confused, like, oh, brewery? I'm like, oh, next door. But then they'll usually come back in like, what is this place? Like, this is so cool. I just want to like have a beer and hang out here. That's kind of the
Well,
vibe that I have in the retail spot.
yeah, and that's where like when you would walk into your store like in the mornings after your workout, like you would show those videos. Like I thought it was like a retail store, like you were like selling old furniture or something like
Yeah,
that, or like antique stuff. And I'm like, what is that?
it's just
And
all
then
my collection of stuff. Yeah.
and that's just like I'm assuming that that's just like what like you want to put that stuff in your like place in Texas.
Well, it for there, and then some of this stuff is going to go upstairs in the actual lounge. But yeah, it's just I like patina, concrete, leather, steel, copper, like
That
wood.
steampunk,
Yeah.
like patina, patina, patina,
Yep. I have a lot of people that come in there and they're like, "Can we just like rent
chill.
this out for like you know, like a dude's night?" I'm like, "No,
Man,
sorry."
you could make a killing probably with that. It's like, hey, this is
Yeah.
like the bachelor party, like where it starts.
Mm-hmm. Well, that like my lounge upstairs, that's where I have like little, I have the lounge part where I do the videos, but then on the other side of that, there's a pool table. I have a couple of slot machines, dartboard, um, arcade machine. Then I have like a seating area with like two couches and a TV and a fireplace. So it's definitely a
It's a vibe.
man cat, cave hangout area.
It's the luxurious lounge. That's what it is.
Literally, yeah. Yep.
No, but I was always curious, like, and I think I asked you one time, and that's when you told me that this is just the collection of stuff that I've bought over the years, and like, it's my get away from the world's area, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I spend like 75% of my day
I mean, that's where you make
there.
your
So
oils
it's
and stuff,
home
but
away from home. Yep.
so I mean, it's not just a place for your junk. It's a place like a lot of people say, like, if you're gonna spend time at a place, like, why not make it your like atmosphere?
Yep.
That way, you at least enjoy going there.
Exactly. 6 years later, I still, every time I unlock the door and walk in, I'm like, ah, nice. Like, I did this.
Does your wife, or I'm assuming you're married? Is that right?
Nope. Nope.
Okay.
Not married.
Well,
Yep.
I just didn't know if like if you had a significant other that also enjoyed going there just to bask in the ambience.
No.
Your
Nope.
kids
I
like it?
mean, oh, yeah. My kids love it. Yeah.
It's like, hey, when I'm done, you get this is yours. It's like all this stuff. Like you guys gotta figure out where you're gonna put it. Going
Yeah.
in your
Hopefully,
house.
once my sons get a little older, I mean, they're already showing interest in what I do, and like my oldest son, he'll come to the shop sometimes and like help me label things, or um last time he was there, I put him to work filling the little Keurig coffee cups because those are a pain in the ass. But
Do the stuff I don't want to do.
exactly, yeah. Which he thought it was so cool seeing loading the thing, putting the labels, putting it in the box, putting the labels on it, and then I'll message him like a day or two later. I'm like, hey, the all of the Keurig things that you made, they're selling. He's like, oh, that's cool.
Like I mean, he feels like he's a part of something, and it's dad. It's
Exactly.
like the guy that he watches do stuff every day.
Yep.
No,
Yep.
I love the vibe that you put out on social media. Like it gives like obviously like just because of me knowing that like you used to work for the government and all that stuff. Like you started to do this to be able to do what you want to do, and like you were
Mm-hmm.
living that. Like you're living proof of like, hey, you can live an American dream. Like the state might try to stop you, but like you're gonna
Yeah.
do what you want to do.
Yep. I have a feeling once I move to Texas, literally, because the everything that I do will stay the same. It's just the government itself is going to be more on my side, you know. So I think it's just going to be incredible. It'll allow me to like do even more things or expand, you know, where now it's like I said, you make $100 and they want to take 110 of it somehow. It's crazy.
Yeah, and like, and that's the thing about like what the people that are just watching people do. Like I don't know what you're like paying in taxes and stuff like that, nor should I have to. But like, the people that like take the time to send you a hate message, like, "Hey, I hate your product," blah 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 blah. Like, no, you hated this. Like, you didn't hate all my products. You haven't tried all my products. You just hated this. Just didn't work for you, and I get it. But like, you bought it. I mean, you get what you pay for.
Mm-hmm.
The quality, I think the quality of feeling beer kind of like, if you didn't have any sense in your profile, I mean, yeah, it would take away from like the luxurious like experience, I think. But like, I think just the feeling beer says a lot for itself just because you could wear it every day and not tell that you have something in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people will say that they get asked, "Oh, what kind of cologne are you wearing?" Which happens to me all the time too. And I'm like, "Oh no, it's not cologne. It's it's my beard." And they're like, "What?"
Yeah, like I get that at work all the time. Like, 'cause I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to wear cologne to a prison. Like, that's just
Yeah,
not. But I'll put beard oil in, and they're like, "Man, what kind of cologne is that? Is that Curve?" I was like, "No, that's for Walmart shoppers, man. Like, I
yeah,
wear beard oil," and they're like, "What?"
yeah.
It's like you have no idea like what's on the outside, like what you're missing. Like, you'd rather be
Mm-hmm.
breaking the law, but here I am wearing beard oil.
Mm-hmm.
But no, like
Yeah,
I know that your time is precious, so I just appreciated you like saying, "Yeah, I would love to come on." So like, and this is all I wanted to do is just to hang out. Like I don't want it to be like a schedule or a skit or anything like that. I just wanted it to be like a sit down and get. I would love to have a spot where I could smoke a cigar. That way, it'd be more of the luxurious way.
yeah. Same here. Like I can't really do one in my home office, but I can definitely do it at the luxurious lounge at the shop. I just gotta wait till it's cooler. I
Yeah,
mean,
the
it's for
fall is my place. Like I'll light a fire in the chimney out back, and then I'll sit on my wood little deck thing, and then that way I can post up my phone next time we get that we want to do this.
oh yeah, yeah. We'll
Have
have
to
to
have you
do
back
another
on.
one where I can do it in my lounge because once it cools down, then it's nice. I mean, I even installed a freaking split AC unit in there, but the problem is the ceiling in the lounge, because it's built up where it's only like 8 foot ceilings, but the roof is just plywood. So there's like no, I painted
Insulation.
everything black. Yeah, there's no insulation. So if the sun is beating down on it, it's just a radiator. So I'll go in there in the morning at like, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., turn the AC on max, and then I'll go up there at like 2 o'clock to see. And I'm like, dude, there's no way. I'm like, I'm just sitting there. I'm not even moving. And I can just feel the
Yep.
sweat starting to
And
drip down.
that's the downfall about smoking cigars outside is that like you want to be comfortable when you enjoy that cigar. Like
Yeah.
if you're uncomfortable, what's the point? Like
Yep.
you're already sitting in the sun. Now I would rather sit in around a campfire with a cigar, either a glass of whiskey or a bottle of beer, and just sit there and
Hmm.
just chill. Like
Yep.
that's my vibe. I don't need to go to Vegas or anything like that. Like give me a campfire and a cigar, and we're good to go.
Yep. Yep.
But no,
Cool.
like I really appreciate you coming on here, man. Like we'll definitely have to do this again when it gets cooler in your area, and then that
Yeah.
way I can kind of be outside and we can smoke a cigar and we'll kind of see where we're at, see if we pick the same cigar. Try not to pick the Kentucky Sweets.
Yeah, I know. Right. I got a couple. I have at least six or so that I find that I've been reordering. So,
Yeah, I've
yeah.
got two of the big Kentucky Sweets, and then I went to their smaller gauge ones like a while back. Like they're almost like a cigarillo,
Yeah. 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 Hmm.
and I don't like the way that those like they burn too fast for me.
Yeah.
Like that's the one thing I didn't like about them. But
Hmm.
they still taste as good. It's just not as you're not taking in the time to enjoy it. Like it's almost like a speed cigar.
Yeah. Yep. And then if it's too hot, I end up wanting to smoke it too fast because I'm too hot, and then that's not fun.
Yeah, and then if you're trying to enjoy like a drink or a coffee, like that just adds to the heat.
Yep. Yep.
But no, well, like before you go, why don't you just shout out like your social media, your email, and all that stuff, or where people can kind of check you out? Then I'll be making like shorts and stuff like this and putting it on YouTube.
Well, you can mainly Instagram. The luxurious bastard. I think it's like the dot luxurious dot bastard. I am always on that checking DMs and stuff. Of course, I got TikTok, YouTube. YouTube is the main. If you want to follow like what's coming out, like what's new, I'm always on there, letting people know products that are usually dropping on Sundays, or just to hang out and shoot the shit. So yeah, Facebook. Facebook is I don't really check that much just because it's tied to my Instagram. So whenever I do a post, it like automatically does it. Um, but yeah, other than that, the website, the app. Make sure to download the app and leave a review on that because apparently that's supposed to help with the whole iOS algorithm and suggesting stuff.
Yeah, leave a
But
5-star review, and then you get pushed to the top of the list for
yeah,
apps to
something like
download.
that. If anybody types in like beard, it's supposed to pop up, and it looks like last time I checked, I'm at still like a 5-star
Yeah.
um, review, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I usually check it like just to see like if you have like because usually you have a lot of your like your seasonal stuff like so like in March or whatever, March or April, like then you have like your October stuff usually on sale. But I'm not big onto like the food or the scented stuff, and you don't produce a lot of that. So I'm always down to buy like something that's
Mhm.
manly and smoky.
Yeah, like for example, when I did like my coffee profile, what I've my coffee profile. I mean, I love coffee, so mine is like has been quoted like the quintessential coffee profile where a lot of customers will tell me like they've tried like 5 or 6 coffee profiles from other companies that just smell like sweet chocolate. Like they don't even really smell like coffee-ish. Where mine smells like you walked into like a bistro. You can smell like that dark, like almost like a burnt coffee smell mixed with like other things, which is what I was after. So,
Yeah, it's that TCVC, the tobacco coffee vanilla cherry. I think
mhm.
right.
Yep.
That's just it's very complex. Every single one of your scents, and just at the website, they're very complex. Like, but the most complex I think is still today probably 1912. Like, there's just so much that goes into it.
Yeah, the 1912, the Curious, which unfortunately I don't make anymore. That one had like 13 different things in it. Um,
My
but
favorite one
yeah.
that you actually had that a lot of people don't like is the one that smells like black licorice. It's
Oh
the
yeah, the deluxe.
deluxe bastard. Yeah,
Yeah.
I still got
Hmm.
one bottle of that I put on for like my anniversary. My wife likes the black licorice smell, so I'll pop that
Hmm.
in. That or the soothing bastard. So
Yeah,
don't
anise.
do not underestimate the soothing bastard. It is clean. It is like it's almost like you took a bottle of body wash and rubbed it into your beard.
Yeah. Yep. I gotta. Which reminds me, I gotta. Once I get through customs, I'll probably restock that one again because I the oils are easy, but it's the balms and the butters that are a little bit more time consuming.
And I would almost rather wear like a body lotion rather than a cologne these days, just because of like the where I live. It's like it's humid and dry, and then my elbows get dry and stuff like that. But like colognes are good for like if you want to impress somebody. So I'm not going to wear one to my job. That's the downfall.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but everything you do, I do want to give you like props for like, and one for just saying, yeah, I would like to come on. You're not big enough yet, apparently. Like you're not. I'm going to go to Hollywood and sell to all the actors and stuff, but I'll throw to a pitcher. But
Yeah.
I just appreciate you coming on. Like your time, I mean, it means enough to me just to say, hey, yeah, I'd love to come on.
Cool. Yeah, appreciate it. I'm just a regular dude like everybody else. Got to stay humble.
I would never
I
guess that you were from California. Just judging by your background and your personality, you were not a Californian, in my opinion.
I don't belong, that's for sure. Yep.
Well, you're moving on to bigger and better things, hopefully in the future, man.
Texas, here we come.
And before you go, I'll hang back with you and just talk to you afterwards, and then I'll put this out Monday probably.
Cool.
All right, man. We'll talk to
All
you later.
right. All right.